The playoffs are in full swing. Stay tuned right here to 3 in the Key on the Sports Fan Base Network as we're going to break down the latest of all the great things happening in Pennsylvania high school boys basketball. Stay tuned to 3 in the Key. Good evening, high school basketball fans, and welcome to another edition of 3 in the Key, presented by the Sports Fan Base Network. I'm Richie Blyweiss, and as always, I'm joined by my wonderful hosts here. I've got Kapp, and I've got Josh Abrams. Yes, that is you. We've got these two wonderful guys here, and we are so excited to have you with us this evening for a special Sunday night edition of 3 in the Key. So thank you so much for tuning in with us. You know, with the playoffs happening, there's just so much to talk about. We couldn't wait another night to get you with us here so we can talk about high school boys basketball and all the great things happening in the playoffs. So tonight, we want to get you with us here. We want to chime in with you. We want you to chime in with us. It's got to be a conversation. That's how our show works best. So please, while you're watching, please tune in and watch, comment, like, share, everything with this show. We want to hear your thoughts, your predictions, your analysis of the games as they've been going on. Because, guys, these playoffs have been heating up tremendously.
It's getting exciting.
It really is. It really is. So here's how the show's going to work out for tonight. It's going to be a little similar to last week. We're going to go a little bit deeper into our analysis. But tonight we are going to work through all the brackets that are happening right now, all these different tournaments going 6A down to 1A. So we're going to start with 6A in a few moments, and we're going to work our way through 6A, go through 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Throughout this time, you're not only going to hear our predictions that are coming up, but you know, so often, guys, I watch some prediction shows like ours, and too many people, they forget, and they don't own up to the predictions that they made last week. So tonight, we're going to own up to the predictions that you guys, as well as Ari Bluestein, had. We're going to hear how it went. We're going to post those numbers, so you're actually going to be able to see the numbers and see how we did on our predictions. But also, we're going to be looking at the most up-to-date brackets. These brackets came out and you know, were updated earlier today. So it's really important that we get these up-to-date brackets for you. Again, as we're going through, be sure to comment live with us so that we can actually check on our computers here, and we have our wonderful production staff standing by. We want to be able to hear what you have to say so you can chime in with us. Just put your comments right down there below on the Facebook stream. And as always, we have a wonderful Kapp's Corner trivia question coming at you tonight. And Kapp, I want to hear what your question is for tonight. So go ahead.
So it's a very interesting question. What team in the Philadelphia area has gone the longest without winning a championship?
A championship drought, as they
say. A championship drought. A basketball, boys basketball championship. What school has gone the longest? Should we give the hint?
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Do you want to give the hint, or do you want to save the hint for a little later on? You can give it if you'd like to.
You know, it's
might give it
a tough
away.
Question, so let's give the hint.
All right, go ahead.
They're also, as far as we know, the only school ever to have a woman as the boys basketball coach.
All right, so there's
woman on the boys basketball.
All right, so there's your question again. So let's give it. In the city of Philadelphia, which school has the longest drought since winning their last championship? And your hint is that they're the only boys team with a female head coach.
As far as we know. Now, there may have been one decades and decades ago, but we don't know. Probably not.
Kapp, if it's as far as you know, then it's as far as all we know as well. I'm going to go with that. Yeah. You got a couple of years. So yeah, you got a couple of years of watching this sport. Yeah. So, all right, let's get into it. So here's how we're going to do this. We are going to show you at home the brackets. We also want to talk about the scores from each of these last games. We want to look at our predictions, and then we're going to give our analysis for some of the upcoming games so that we can have a look-see and see what's going on. So let's start off. Let's go with 6A first. So 6A, do we have the brackets up? Can we throw those up? All right, thank you so much, Julian. So we've got the brackets up right now, and as you can see, we're just going to go straight through here. So Abington Now, again, really quick, these are all matches that happened on Saturday the 10th. That was the other day. So here we go. Let's go. Abington first took down Harrisburg. That score was 61-57. They're going to play St. Joe's Prep, who beat Northampton 62-57. Then in our next set, we've got an overtime game. Pocono Mountain West took down Chambersburg in overtime. That was a 1-point differential, 53-52. They will take on Hazleton, who had an easy win, it seems, over Norristown, 62-45. Moving down further, we've got Lincoln, who beat Upper Darby 67-46. They'll play Hempfield. Hempfield took down Coatesville 66-53. Continuing on, we've got Lower Moreland, Lower Merion, who won a very close game, 88-86 over Manheim Township. Then you've got Neshaminy, who will face Lower Merion. Neshaminy had an easy victory over East Stroudsburg South. Now, truthfully, not an easy team to beat, and we'll talk about that possibly in a little bit. Moving down into the next set of the bracket here, Reading had a big win, not shockingly, had a big win, 63-38 over Ben Salem. So local Ben Salem team goes out, but looking at another local team here to us, Central Bucks West, 53-34 over Emmaus. Roman Catholic 58-56 over Penn Ridge. That was a close one there. Not a close one. PW, Plymouth Whitemarsh, 71-47 over Dallastown. State College, the Little Lions, 73-65 over Woodland Hills. They're going to take on Pine Richland, who had a big victory over Pittsburgh CC, 75-64. And then in our last matchup, you've got Penn Hills, 54, taking down Fox Chap with a score of 52. That was a very close one there. Yes. And then, is this, guys, I always say, if I'm pronouncing it, Alderdice? Are we saying Alderdice? You checked on it?
Very informed source.
Okay. They took down Mount Lebanon 63-54. So, guys, and thank you so much for staying tuned. I know we got a lot of games here, and we're still early into these brackets here. But, guys, there was so much to look at here. If you could, really quick, before I even get into your analysis, I said this at the beginning, I want to point out our mistakes and our shortcomings here. Yeah. So let's see. Here are our totals so far. These were our 6A predictions. Julian, are these up on the screen right now so people can see these? Thank you. So here were the prediction numbers. Josh, you had 11 correct.
Okay. 6A now.
It's talking 6A.
6A, yeah.
Josh had 11 correct.
Pretty good.
Cap, you had 13 correct. Baby. And Ari at home, Ari had 10 correct. So this was out of 16 total. So of 16, and you guys at home, you can see those numbers out of 16. Yeah, right. You all did really well, above the 50% mark, 55% mark for all of you. So congratulations to you guys. Cap, Josh, I want to come to you guys now because I want to hear what it is that you have to talk about. What is it that you think of past games coming up, however you'd like to take this. I'm really just, I'm going to open the floor. Josh, if you'd like to take this, I'm really curious. I'd like to open it up to you.
Well, for starters, Abington got out of their first round state playoff hex, finally picked up a win in the state tournament, their first state tournament win since 2014. Finally got it done. The team was very talented in doing so.
That was a dangerous opponent.
Yeah, and Harrisburg hung tough with them basically the entire game.
And Harrisburg took the long trek out here. That game was played in Winco, Cheltenham High. That's a long trek for them. Abington, it's about it was a Cheltenham High. That's about a 5-minute ride for Abington. That's about a 2-hour, 3-hour, even more ride for Harrisburg.
It's unfair. It really does.
Yeah, looking at Cap and I were looking at some of these.
How far is Harrisburg from here?
100 miles.
Okay, so we're a couple hours.
Plus, yeah.
So we're a couple hours. Yeah. A couple hours. Okay.
Looking at some of these matchups, obviously the PIAA tries to set up the whatever games are being played in the first couple of rounds. They try and set them up where the higher seeds get to play at a closer neutral. It's a neutral location no matter what, because we're at the point now where
it's always neutral.
Yeah, right. State tournament has to be neutral.
That's right.
But when you look at Abington only having to play at Cheltenham, or going down the line, you have Lincoln playing at South Philadelphia. Some of these teams
they can do a little better.
Yeah, some of these teams who finish really well in the district or section playoffs, they get rewarded by not having to travel far, helping out in the first round, or even in the second round too. We're looking at going down the bracket. For example, Abington and St. Joe's Prep play at Archbishop Bryan. They're equidistant.
That's fair.
Not usually the case in some of these state playoff games.
Yeah. No, that's fair. All right, well, yeah, and like you said, Abington does have St. Joe's Prep coming up. That will be a great game. That's going to be a really great game. As a 6A matchup, that will be a very great game.
We're talking about going to that game.
All right.
But
although we also agree there is a better game.
There's a.
All right, what's the better game?
We have
the better game?
Roman Catholic taking on Plymouth Whitemarsh. Roman a close 58-56 winner over Penn Ridge, while Plymouth Whitemarsh essentially steamrolled their way through Dallastown, really shaking off. Shaking off that District 1 title game loss.
PW has had such a strong year, 27-1.
Yeah,
they've had a very strong year.
The district championship.
Yeah, and the winner of that game, and I think this is the second most exciting game, at least on the eastern side of the bracket, is Central Bucks West taking on Reading. You know, I've said it on the show before. When CB West is able to play at their own pace and control the tempo, they can essentially beat anybody. And, the winner of that game is going to get the winner of the Roman PW game. I think we're looking at the winner.
What a reward.
Do you guys see Roman and Abington in the end with this? Do you guys potentially see Roman and Abington? No, okay.
No, I think I think us, at least me and Kapp, and a lot of other people probably have a Plymouth Whitemarsh Abington final.
District 1 rematch.
Yeah, District 1 championship rematch.
So you think Roman falls to PW right now?
It's going to be a great game.
You really
coming up on Wednesday. We got a lot of great games coming up.
You can't count out Roman because Roman has won tough games all year, and they knocked off Bonner Prendy in the PCL title game.
And will that game be local? Do we know yet?
Yes.
Will that game be local?
Yeah, Roman and Plymouth Whitemarsh play at Ben Salem.
Okay.
And
that's when we were saying we probably will go to that.
I think I printed my brackets before locations got added.
Yeah, they just added the locations.
Okay.
It's a tough choice because Abington St. Joe Prep is at Archbishop Ryan, which is 5 minutes from my house, and Ben Salem's another 10 or 15 minutes. So it's a tough. They play at the same time. You can't.
Yeah, there are a lot of games. All these second round games are going on Wednesday.
Guys, were there any shockers? Were there any shockers in 6A at all? I mean, we don't get a lot of shockers in the first round usually. Was there anything that jumped out at you at all? Nothing really surprising.
I don't even want to say shocking, but the fact that Neshaminy, who had to fight, Neshaminy had to fight through so much adversity to even get to the state playoffs, and they take down the District 11 champion in East Stroudsburg South, and they beat them by 15. And that's all in part to Chris Archidiacono and his sharp shooting abilities. He had 27 points. Neshaminy, the 9th seed out of District 1, has a chance.
Yeah, but Neshaminy beat the 1 seed out of District 11 in East Stroudsburg.
They did.
Too.
They have Neshaminy has a chance.
By Sean Munford too.
Yeah.
And it's their first time really in the States in a long time.
Yeah, the last time they were there was when Chris's brother Ryan was running things.
No, I mean the East Stroudsburg.
East Stroudsburg.
They haven't been there in forever. But, you're right about Neshaminy. But look, Neshaminy won that game. As we said, Neshaminy can beat people because of Archidiacono.
And as long as he stays hot, that's when we see Neshaminy shocking a lot of people. Can they beat Lower Marion? I don't know. That's a very tall task, but
big mountain to climb right there.
But
Anthony Papio had 15 in the game for Neshaminy also, so it wasn't all Archidiacono.
Yeah.
All right. So.
Yeah. All right, Josh, let's check in with you. Any good comments coming in? I know we got some coming in right now on Facebook Live. Anything coming in?
Yeah, so from Mike Palmer, he said, love the predictions at SFBN. This is where it gets real. And he also came up with a new word, brackometry, on Sort Out Sunday. Yes, so instead of bracketology.
Thing to do. Come up with his own word.
I love it. I like it, Mike.
I love it. Yeah. I love it. All right, guys, let's move on to 5A. Let's get right on to this with 5A. Let's talk about the brackets, and then let's talk about predictions of the 16 that you guys made. So you guys see it right now live at home there. You can see the brackets coming up onto your screen. So you see at the very top there, Pencrest takes down Shippensburg 49-36. They'll move on to play Northeastern, who had a 69-60 win over Sun Valley. Abington Heights 75-46 blowout over Garden Spot. They'll take on Chichester, who beat Martin Luther King. That was a South Philly game right there. So, Chester, forgive me. Chester, sorry about that. Chester, that was a 61-47 matchup. In our next game, you've got William Penn, who had a close one against Holy Ghost Prep, 63-59. Bonner Prendy takes down New Oxford, 56-45. And then in our next match, you've got Allentown CC That was a 69-52 win over Greencastle Antrim. They will play Dallas. Dallas has been 20-5 this year, guys. They took down Lower Dauphin at 19-7. We go into the next half of the bracket here, and Milton Hershey had a 75-52 win over Westchester Ruston. Bishop Shanahan, demoralizing victory, 76-38 over Hershey. And
Nice comeback for them.
Hershey's had a good season, though, guys, at 22-5. Archbishop Carroll, 66-59 win over Wissahickon. They'll play Lampeter Stroudsburg, who had a 54-42 win over Bangor. And Bangor had a great year at 22-3. Highlands, 52-31 win over Franklin Regional. They will take on Carrick, who beat Hollidaysburg 53-38. And then Mars area, forgive me. They take down, forgive me, to confuse with all the other Mars schools. They took down Hampton 68-47. They are going to go on to play Trinity area, who had a close one, actually, probably the closest one here, had a 45-42 win over Cathedral Prep.
Now that's the Trinity from the Pittsburgh area. Not to be confused with the Trinity from the Harrisburg area.
Right. So let's look at these predictions real quick, and then we'll get into some analysis here. But let's look at the predictions. You can see them right there on your screen right now. Josh, you had 11 of the 16 correct. Same with Ari. Ari had 11 as well.
Consistent.
But the king of 5A is Kapp.
What did I get?
What did I get?
14.
It is a 14 you got, Kapp. You got 14 of 16 correct. I'm taking you to Vegas with me next week. I'm taking you to Vegas with me. I'm taking you with me. You get 14 of 16 correct. We're going to have a great week.
Wait till we get through to the end.
We're going to have a great week. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, guys. So I know we didn't really have as many close games here as we did in 6A. And I know, second round, these games are going to be coming up on Tuesday, March the 13th. But, guys, what really excited you? What surprised you? What do you look out for in games coming up in 5A, Kapp?
I expected Pencrest to advance because what I saw in the 5A District 1 final was a very impressive defensive squad, in addition to having Tyler Norwood, the babyface, what do we call him, the assassin?
Yeah, the babyface assassin.
The BFA, the babyface assassin, who I believe he had 21 in this game, but his average is 21. He's listed at 5'11". He might be 5'8", 5'9", about 140 pounds. And in my opinion, he's a marginal D1 player who might help a squad up, starting next year. But right now, he's pacing Pencrest, and they're doing very well. So they took care of Shippensburg. It was a low-scoring game, 49-36. Interesting game. Martin Luther King and Chester, I think, could have gone either way. What do you think, Josh?
Well, I mean, Chester obviously came out as the 14-point victor there.
That was a tough one to call.
Yeah, not Chester's obviously not a city school, but they play in a tough division, just like Martin Luther King does.
Yeah.
That's really Martin Luther King Chester is sort of a matchup you would want to see later on in the bracket because of how talented both teams are. But the way that the seeding played out, one of them had to go home, unfortunately. Looking at comments we have from Mike Palmer again. There are a lot of really good teams in this 5A bracket, which includes Chester, Archbishop Carroll, Bonner, Pencrest, which he didn't include, but nevertheless,
I think Abington Heights could take something too.
Yeah, and a lot of these teams, especially at the upper half of the bracket here, they're really looking to make some noise. There's only 8 spots left, obviously. Carroll is about the only team, maybe along with Bishop Shanahan, at the bottom half of the bracket from in terms of local teams that could make noise. Other than that, you're looking at Bonner, Prendy, Chester, and Pencrest that are really the local teams that are going to be moving on there, at least that we think we have them moving on. And this 5A bracket is just really tough to pick from, just because you have Pencrest at the top there that won the district title. But then you have teams like Bonner, Prendy, and Archbishop Carroll that didn't end up winning their respective league or district title.
But is Pencrest better than them?
That's
an open question. You guys can take it either way.
I was very impressed with their defense. They shut down Bishop Shanahan in the District 1 final. I mean, shut them down. What did they get? 28 points, I think.
Right. Norwood almost outscored.
He had 27.
Shanahan.
They had 14 in each half, and really there was kind of garbage time at the end there. They could have been held to 25 points, which is, I mean, look, they were trying real hard. They just couldn't score.
Yeah,
clamped them down.
You know, looking down the long run, Cap, I think we have a Carroll Bonner Prendy final,
Well, that's where
and that would be.
what I have.
But that means Carroll's going to have to take down Bishop Shanahan.
Yeah, and I
think
think
they beat
you know
Bishop
it
Shanahan.
definitely could happen.
Yeah.
But you know that's why we're lucky to not get so far right now. Where there's still a lot of games to be
I
played.
actually have Milton Hershey beating Bishop Shanahan.
Oh, wow, so that's coming up
To
That's coming up
continue their
on
surprise
Tuesday.
season, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I have them losing to Archbishop Carroll.
Well, Milton Hershey certainly had a big game over Westchester. You know, they had a 23-point victory. That was the deficit there over
Bayard
Westchester.
Rustin,
yeah,
Westchester Bayard Rustin.
Yeah,
which is
that
a
was
pretty
big
good
one.
team, by the way.
Yeah.
That's a team that took down Chester earlier in the season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe they stopped the 13-game winning streak. So,
Wow. Well, guys,
yeah.
these games are coming up on Tuesday, March the 13th. In the meantime, though, we have to take a break. When we come back, we're going to go through 4A, 3A, 2A, and 1A, and also we're going to get to that trivia question. So if you haven't taken time to do so, do it during our commercial break. Answer this trivia question. In the city of Philadelphia, which school has the longest drought since their last championship? And the hint that Cap gave, this is the only boys team that had a female coach. So again, put your answer in the comments below. Stay tuned to 3 in the Key right here on the Sports Fan Base Network.
Hi, I'm Tommy Green, former pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. When I was in high school, it was very important to me to show scouts what I could do. My friends at Payroll Service Solutions are huge supporters of high school sports and the Sports Fan Base Network. If you're a small to medium-sized business in need of a payroll company, contact Payroll Service Solutions. Not only will they take care of you, they will continue to support the community. For more information, contact Payroll Service Solutions at 215-624-0922 or 866-PAY-EASY.
We're talking goaltending here, and we're talking about high school rules as opposed to NCAA or NBA, which are slightly different. The referee is looking for 4 criteria. Number 1, is the ball on its way down? Number 2, is the ball fully above the rim? Number 3, was it an attempted shot? And number 4, did that shot have a chance to go in the opinion of the referee? If all 4 of those criteria are met, a goaltending call is made and the basket is good. Slapping the backboard is never goaltending. It's always a technical foul.
Welcome back to 3 in the Key right here on the Sports Fan Base Network. Cap, I absolutely love seeing your commercial.
The
Cap's
other
Corners.
commercials.
I love it. I love it. I'm like, how's he there if he's also right here? No, I love it. I love it. It's great. It's great. I love it. Yeah, you tee him up. You want to do the
Hit the
tee?
backboard when
Do
I'm
the tee.
wrestling.
Do the tee. Come on, sit. There you go. He's got it.
Not this.
No.
Not
No.
this, like some refs do.
No.
Right.
No, you got to do it big.
That's the correct
Yeah,
way.
you got to go big or go home, Cap.
Well, that's the correct way to do it.
He's got it. Cap's got it, of course. Well, welcome back to 3 in the Key right here on the Sports Fan Base Network. We are so glad that you stay tuned with us. You know, we just went through 6A, we went through 5A. It is time to go down into 4A.
A very
All
exciting bracket.
Yeah, very exciting bracket. So as you can see, the brackets are up on your screen right there. Let's start off right here at the top. You got Berks Catholic, who's had an amazing season at 26-2. They took down John Bartram 47-43. I think that was a closer game than I really thought it was going to be.
Bartram had some players this year.
Yeah.
This was a big achievement for them to
Well,
get into this tournament.
Well, let's talk about them in a minute here. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
They're going to take down Valley View 64-45. As you can hear, the sirens coming to take Cap away. Sorry about that. They are coming to take Cap away. They're going to take on Berks Catholic and Valley View. Valley View beat Mifflinburg 64-45. So I think that Berks Catholic Valley View game, you got 2 really good teams going on there. Conwell Egan takes down Wilson Area 73-58. They're going to play Bethlehem Catholic, who just puts a hurting on Greater Nanticoke Area.
That's a big win for Conwell Egan.
Yeah.
Because they did get killed by Imhotep.
Well, Conwell Egan's got their
State
real
championship.
challenge coming up now with Bethlehem Catholic.
Yeah.
Imhotep Charter, they take down Kennardale 76-30. They will take on Scranton Prep Scranton Prep, who beat Tamaqua 69-35. You've got Lower Moreland, who fell to Overbrook 76-51. Overbrook will now take on Middletown. Middletown beat Montoursville, a little discussed Montoursville, 66-57. Then you've got Bishop McDevitt. They beat Danville 60-45. They will go and take on Huntington. Huntington had a very close game, only a 2-point win here, 60-58 over Lancaster Catholic. Both good teams with good records this year. That could have gone either way. Quaker Valley wins 54-48 over Grove City. They will take on Hickory. Hickory puts up the most points I've seen in a bracket yet, 92-52, beating Bell Vernon. That is just crazy. 92 points for a high school team in 4A. Good for them. Newcastle will take on South Fayette. Newcastle beat Fort LaBeouf 79-48, and that could lead to an interesting matchup if they go far enough between Newcastle and Hickory. That really could be interesting with the offense. South Fayette takes down Clearfield 55-44, so that Newcastle-South Fayette game will be interesting. Then in our last couple of games here, Greater Johnstown takes down Indiana 67-59. They will take on Sharon, who is a good football team, by the way. They took down Valley 72-45.
And before we move on, let's talk about some Facebook comments. Here our very own Mike Palmer tuned in. Commented on going back to 5A about Bonner having the PCL experience. Tommy Green in the commercials. Tough loss for Lower Moreland as they really did not have a shot against Overbrook. And he, among many other high school basketball experts, have Imhotep as the 4A favorite, and you can slam dunk it, as he says. Imhotep is just too good,
and he probably hasn't even seen them play. But the fact that they're ranked number 8
they're
in
top
the country,
10, yeah,
in the nation out of 100,000.
And
schools.
do we want to discuss trivia question guess answers?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet on that.
Made a guess?
Did somebody make a guess?
Yes, we have two guesses both from Ari and Joe DeGrazio. I think. Do we want to
just hold on to it? Hold on to it for right now, because what I do want to do right now is I want to throw up our predictions that you guys made from 4A. Yeah. This was the number correct. You can see it there on your screen. This was the number correct. So in 4A, out of 16 possible correct answers, Kapp, you had 9. Josh, you had 11, but the king of 4A was Ari with 12 correct. Ari had 12 correct here. Again, out of the
Kapp fell into single digits. Single digits for this one.
Kapp, that's unlike you.
This is my favorite bracket, actually. But,
really?
Well, Ari, look, he knows his quad A.
He does. All right, guys.
I knew quad A green personally, actually.
Yeah.
Quad A,
He's a famous guy. Okay. All right, guys. So out of 4A, give me a couple of teams. Give me a couple of games that you really like here.
Well, clearly, we all understand that we've mentioned it a number of times. Imhotep is the favorite in this tournament. They're the best team in the entire state tournament. Sure. Clearly, and they can really clamp it down on defense. Now they won by 40. Am I doing the math right?
46. More than double.
They won by 46
I'm
points.
sure it could have been worse. Kennard-Dale was in deep water there. They had no chance. So Imhotep moves on to Scranton Prep, who they probably will treat about the same as they did to Kennard-Dale. Berks Catholic is a very good team, and I'd love to see Berks Catholic playing Bethlehem Catholic. I have those two matched up, the BC versus the BC, in the next round.
But Kapp, does it matter? Does anybody stop Imhotep?
Not in my opinion, no. Not from what I've seen. I've seen them 3 times in person. They're a thundering herd, to say the least. I mean, and they're very good. They're good offensively, but they're equally as good defensively when they come to play.
Josh, who gives them a run for their money?
You know, when we talked about, right? We talked about in the past potential 4A teams that could give Imhotep a run for their money, and the only team, in my opinion, that could essentially do so is Quaker Valley. You know, right. Quaker Valley, at one point they were undefeated. They had won 20-some games straight. They play, you know...
That means they'd have to wait for the championship if it's Quaker Valley. It would have to be the championship.
They would have to...
The championship game, yeah.
We could be looking at an Imhotep Quaker Valley championship game. I really don't think there's any upset brewing for Imhotep. I just think they're too powerful to go down this soon. But in terms of that bottom half of the bracket, we could see anyone make it that far. Newcastle has been in big games like this before. Like I said before they switched to 6 classifications, Newcastle was the king of 4A in 2014. So they could essentially make some noise there too. Other than that, you know, Quaker Valley, it might be the one and only team in this bracket that has a shot at defeating Imhotep, and even then, I don't see Imhotep. Imhotep is not going to go down without a fight. I think this is just really one of those things where Imhotep is going to use their length, their size, and athleticism on defense to create more high percentage shots on offense, and that's essentially what they do.
Do you have Overbrook beating Middletown?
That's a tough one. I think Overbrook definitely could beat Middletown. I think Overbrook playing in District 12, playing in the public league, they definitely have a shot at beat
and tremendous reputation, of course.
Yeah. Whoever wins that Overbrook Middletown game is going to have to.
I have Middletown winning it.
Yeah, I mean,
Middletown. I've seen that Middletown team in person, and they can score.
Yeah,
Ryan Hughes can put up some numbers.
All right, let me ask you guys. I know you want to talk. I know Middletown and Imhotep; those are your two favorites going into the next rounds.
Well,
let me ask you another one.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah,
of the
Newcastle.
top four,
Yeah.
of the top four here now, and looking at the brackets, you've got Berks Catholic, Valley View, Conwell Egan, and Bethlehem Catholic. One of them is going to have to take on Imhotep Charter if Imhotep makes it through.
Right. Well,
who's making it through? Is it Berks Catholic, Valley View, Conwell Egan, or Bethlehem Catholic?
I think we're looking at a Berks Catholic and Bethlehem Catholic quarterfinal.
I'm essentially getting to who's the final four here is ultimately what I'm trying to get to.
One of the Catholic, it's either Berks or Bethlehem
Berks or
Catholic.
Bethlehem, yeah. Okay.
One of them is going to make it to the semifinal on March 19th.
I forget who I picked. I can't.
And
I have BC down here. I don't know which one it is.
You don't know which BC. It's Boston College, Cal.
Yeah, it's
Boston College.
One of them is going to have to face Imhotep in the
One of them
semifinal.
will. Yeah, look, I mean, it's possible Middletown, if they beat Overbrook, possibly could pull an upset if Imhotep doesn't come to play. Sometimes Imhotep looks past some opponents occasionally, and they've had a little bit of behavior issues with one or two players during the season, so you never know what's going to happen. And they may have to travel a little bit. We don't know.
Oh, the travel.
But,
we already talked about the travel, but it can be bad.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, Overbrook, this is their first victory ever in a state tournament.
Yeah, we were talking about a lot of teams got out of the
Lincoln,
hump. Lincoln, Abington. Well, Abington at least in recent years.
This is Overbrook's first win ever in a state level tournament. With a glorified history. Obviously, 7 NBA players, including Wilt, Wally Jones, and so on and so on. So,
all right, guys. Well, let's get on here because we're only halfway through this. So let's get through 4A. Let's move on to 3A right now. Okay. So 3A, the brackets are up there for you to be able to see. But you can see this here. Let's start off with Newman Goretti. They had a big victory, high-scoring game there over Steel High, 80-59. They're going to take on Wyoming Seminary, who had a big win over Mastery Charter South. Now, guys, is that a shock there? I want to talk about that in a minute. Not a shock? All right, well, let's hold on to that. Okay. But I definitely think that game is interesting there, that Mastery Charter South and Wyoming Seminary, because Wyoming Seminary won 62-47, so they'll be Newman Goretti's opponent. Bishop McDevitt, the other Bishop McDevitt, 30, right? The other one?
Yes.
Right? 38-25 victory over Kutztown.
Look at that score, yeah.
They're going to take on Notre Dame. That was a 48-41 game. They took down Wellsboro. Valley Forge beats Penn Treaty 80-60. Loyalsock Township beats Holy Redeemer 62-60. There's a real close one, guys.
Close one, yeah.
Dobbins is going to take on Trinity. Dobbins beats Southern Columbia 61-50. Trinity beats Tacony Academy 63-47. We move into the bottom half of the bracket now, and you can see Lancaster Mennonite takes down Legionnaire Valley 65-60. They will play Westinghouse. Westinghouse beats Burgettstown 72-52. Greenville beats Cardinal Rural NC. That was a 63-51 game. They will take on Lincoln Park 86-55. Not the band Lincoln Park. This is a school Lincoln Park. 86-55. Lincoln Park beats Mount Union. So Greenville, Lincoln Park, that'll be interesting there. Mercyhurst Prep will take on Richland. Mercyhurst Prep beats Karnes City 78-47. And then you've got Richland who beat Aliquippa 65-57. So Mercyhurst Prep and now Richland. And then in our last game, Seton LaSalle takes down Central Cambria 75-67, and Fairview beats Shady Side Academy 47-31. So, guys, that is an interesting bracket. We're going to break that down in a minute, but let's take a look at these predictions and how you guys fared here. You guys and Ari, of course. So let's take a look. Of the 16 games you could have correct, you see it there. Cap, you had 9 of them.
9 again.
Yeah. Ari had 11 of them, and Josh, you're the king of 3A right now. You had 13 correct in this one, so
Finally.
13 to 16. That is very impressive.
We're all doing
very
well.
You guys are doing very well. Yeah. Yeah, you guys are doing very, very well. But I'm looking back in my past brackets. Kapp, you still have the highest number here at 14, correct? Josh, you have 13. So I'm trying to think.
Cumulative?
I'm just looking. I'm just having some fun.
No, I mean, we should run a cumulative.
We can run a cumulative total. Yeah,
it's a lot of math.
Yeah, no, we can totally add. We have interns for that. All right, yeah, we have interns for that. That's fine. All right, so guys, 3A, I ran through the scores here for you. We talked about the predictions that you guys did very well in. But really, what are you guys looking at? What was exciting and interesting to you, and what do you see coming up?
I was at the Newman-Goretti game.
I figured you were going to go there.
Yeah, well, I was there, and Newman-Goretti was dominant. It started out a little slow for the Saints there, and maybe a 7-2 spread early on, but you knew it was coming. It was an onslaught, and they just have so many options, so many guys. They're 8 deep in guys they can go to. The big fella, he played
Marcus
early in the
Littles?
first half. Marcus Littles, he's 6'9".
That's ironic.
And they list him at 250. I think more 270.
250?
I think he's more 270.
Wow.
Big kid.
That's
Very
a
big
big
kid.
I don't want to
boy.
get him mad if he sees me, but I think he's heading for 280. But anyway, he's a big fella. He's really large.
Yeah.
He's carrying a lot of weight, and he was just muscling those guys from Steelton High School.
Carrying too much weight for a basketball player?
I think he gained weight during the season. He has a full scholarship to George Washington
Yeah,
University.
you can actually see the pictures of them right
Oh,
here.
here
You
we
can
go,
see this.
here we
Yeah.
go,
Here's
yeah.
some great pictures, Kapp. Kapp, you took these, right?
I took these as a very
these are
difficult
great.
gym to shoot in because the lighting is just horrible. But that's
Imagine playing in it.
Yeah, that's the rollers right there getting a rebound, and that looks like Chris Ings with a jump shot. I
Christian
believe.
Ings, yeah.
Yeah, I'm blocked by a tripod a little bit, but I think we have.
Kapp, there's a perfect setup here. Don't blame the tripod.
Yeah, I can't see it. It's blocked off.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. I mean, take a look. These,
Yeah.
Kapp, these are some great action shots
Yeah,
that you've got
it was
here.
not easy. Again, it was not easy to shoot. And then
These
there
are
was
big kids, though, Kapp. These
Yeah.
are big guys.
Well, they had the Rollers had a 6'7" guy, but he was very thin. Isom, his father, had played linebacker or safety for the Penn State 1986 football team. So
I have to say,
he
though, I'm
comes
not
from a
impressed.
lot of good stock.
I'm not impressed by the crowd. I mean, this is a
No, you know
playoff
what's-
game.
it's
I'm
very
not
good
impressed
point,
by this
Richie.
crowd.
There was a game prior to this, and it was a girls' game, a 5A girls' game, which featured Archbishop Wood.
5A girls' game.
And they came out. I mean,
Really?
they came out. There was almost a full house for that.
Wow.
Here comes the technical foul.
No, he
This
does not
kid,
look happy.
He went after that ref, and that ref's an old friend of mine, Kevin Quirk. Look at Kevin, how he handled himself. This kid was he was kept moving closer and closer. You can see this. And Kevin, he said, "Get away from me, son, get away." And he wouldn't get away. He threw the kid out of the game and ended his career. And there's his coach consoling him. Actually, the kid wanted to go after Kevin again. It got a little rough there at the end. They were.
It's a game, boys. It's a
Their
game.
name is the Steamrollers, and they were steamrolled. And look, they traveled 100 miles. They were a little taken aback by the.
Yeah, but you know what? You got to have some athleticism. You got to show some sportsmanship here. At the end of the day, everybody's got a job to do.
was
And you know
not
what? Your job is to not be that.
He lost his cool, and it was not even a hard call. It was,
No.
I thought it was an accurate call, but anyway.
No, that's
Look,
not
he was
even that.
frustrated.
But,
He's a
you know what?
kid.
But here's the thing,
Yeah.
though, and I get he's a kid. But you know what, though?
Yeah.
That kind of an attitude, that is not built around one play.
That's not
That is
gonna
a
win.
game worth
Right.
of frustration
Did you see the
that
look in his
builds
face?
there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a game's worth of frustration, and that's not frustration with the refs. That's frustration with yourself.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Josh.
Well,
what do
they
you
went
have
down
here in
anyway.
3A?
Yeah.
What are you thinking here? Who do you like? What do you see?
Well,
coming up?
I think going back to what we've talked about these District 12 teams having the advantage in state tournament play. I think Newman-Goretti is like Imhotep in 4A. Newman-Goretti is the team to beat in 3A. They're gonna get the winner, assuming that they can keep their head on straight and beat Wyoming Seminary. They're gonna get the winner of Bishop McDevitt Notre Dame, and I just think Newman-Goretti is set for the state championship game. They may run into Valley Forge. Dobbins is also rolling right now. They continue to make noise in 3A. Looking at the bottom half of the bracket where you get the champion on the bottom half of the bracket. There aren't any local teams that are in that eight strong group right now, and it's a lot of teams that we don't get to see. It's a lot of teams that we don't know a whole lot about, and it's just going to be really interesting to see who essentially runs into Newman-Goretti in the state championship.
Oh yeah,
And they're gonna
Newman-Goretti is just waiting in the wings.
They're going to run
This
into a
is-
buzzsaw.
Yeah.
I mean, they're loaded. Newman-Goretti's loaded with, again, 8 players that can score and play defense.
Give me one team though. And I'm throwing this to you guys randomly. We didn't talk about this. Give me one team that has the potential to beat Newman Goretti?
Well, down at the bottom here, you're looking at a couple of these teams from out west.
No. I'm talking in the top part of the bracket. You got Wyoming Seminary, Bishop McDevitt, Notre Dame, Valley Forge, Loyal Sock, Dobbins, and Trinity. Is there anybody
Richie,
that
I
can
don't
beat
know
Newman
much about
Goretti?
Wyoming Seminary, but I think...
Come on, Cap. I know you do. I know you have a Wyoming Seminary
right.
poster in your house somewhere.
I went there for 2 years.
I know you did. Is there anybody that
Wyoming
really...
Seminary's in some deep water. They're in trouble.
Okay.
And
so there's nobody in this top part. Newman Goretti
I don't
is a
think
sure
Wyoming
thing for
Seminary
the
has a chance
championship.
here. And then we're looking at Bishop McDevitt.
The other Bishop McDevitt.
That's the one from Philadelphia.
Yeah.
The Glenside
District
team.
12. Yep.
And they are not in the class of Newman Goretti.
Okay.
If they get past Notre Dame Green Pond,
You know,
which
yeah.
we don't even know if they're going to get past
It's
that.
just like going back to what we talked about with
Yeah.
Imhotep. Newman Goretti has just their strength of schedule has nothing compared. They don't.
Compared to these other
These teams don't have
Yeah.
anything compared to Newman.
Wow.
No,
Goretti.
because
Well-
they get the opportunities because of their reputation. They're four-time consecutive state champions. If they win this time, it'll be the fifth. It'll set a record. They have a big reputation. They get invited to tournaments, and
Yeah.
Wyoming Seminary is not getting invited to play national teams.
Guys, we have got more to talk about. We've got 2 more brackets that we have to get through. So make sure you stay tuned with us. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to come back. We'll do 2A, 1A, and then we're going to get to the answer to Cap's trivia question for tonight. If you didn't hear it before, stay tuned. I'll give it to you one more time before we hit the final commercial and the final segment of the show. So stay tuned to 3 in the Key right here on the Sports Fan Base Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've spent 3 days with the most insane program, okay, I have witnessed in my 17-year career. It excites me, the presence of point blank period, of Coach Dooley, of Coach Fowler, of the people that he works out with, that he trains with, okay? It's exciting. And you have had the luxury of spending 3 awesome days with these people. I watched Coach Fowler play. Mr. Coach, you watch Coach Fowler play? He is one of the most annoying basketball players you will ever see in your life. Okay? Because exactly what he trains, exactly what he preaches to you, he does at all times. This is real habit. This is not a gimmick. This is real basketball. Real basketball. Something that he has found success with. He has spread the word.
Welcome back to 3 in the Key. Thank you so much for staying with us. Let's give you that trivia question one more time. Cap, do you want me to throw this out there?
Oh, go ahead, yeah.
All right.
Sure.
In the city of Philadelphia, which school has the longest drought since winning their last championship?
Right.
Only, and this is the hint, this is the only hint you get here, the only boys team with a female coach. We know we've had some guesses come through. We're not going to we're not going to tell you if they're right or wrong just yet, but we have had a few guesses come through. Guys,
She is currently retired, by the
okay.
way.
That's
She's
another
not-
hint.
She's not
That's a
the
big
current
hint.
coach.
That's a big hint, though.
Well, she
Cap.
did coach for 15 years
All right.
overall.
All right. Cap, you're giving too many hints here. You're making it too easy on these people.
I could actually give another.
Give another one. You already gave out 2. I didn't want you to
We got
give.
some 2A basketball.
Yeah, seriously. Let's get into 2A.
2A.
Let's look at these. We got 2A and 1A. You can see the brackets up on your screen here.
Yep.
MCS, Math, Civics, and Science takes a monster win here
They
over
scored the
Panther
most.
Valley. They scored the most. I asked that before in 3A.
Yeah.
They scored the most. 101-57 over Panther Valley.
Mighty Elephants.
Oh, they were mighty. They are going to take on and probably destroy Doc Mennonite, who beat Halifax 67-45. Holy Cross will face Bishop McCourt. Holy Cross beats Northeast Bradford 71-34. And wow, I know what you're thinking. Holy Cross. Bishop McCourt, they took down Berlin Brothers Valley 73-61. Constitution, they take down Delaware County Christian 86-49. Big victory there for them. Bishop Guilfoyle 80-45 over Brockway. Moravian Academy 55-47 over Paul Robeson. They will take on Northwest, who beat Muncie 69-57. Going now to the bottom half of the bracket, Sewickley Academy. has a demoralizing win there, 83-33 over Cochranton. Yeah, wow is right. They will play Ridgeway. Ridgeway takes down North Penn Mansfield 55-42. We keep going through here, and Jeanette beats Purchase Line 63-45. They'll take on Cambridge Springs. Cambridge Springs beat Leechburg, 77-54. Coudersport takes down Wilmington 71-60. They will play Our Lady of Sacred Heart, who won 81-62 over Homer Center. Conemaugh Township 77-54 win over Charters Houston, and our last game, West Middlesex beats Springdale 70-37. So you can see those are the brackets there. Let's take a look at these predictions that you guys put in here for our panel.
Should be interesting. Yeah.
Josh, Kapp, and Ari. So coming in here, you guys see it on the screen there at home. Kapp, you came in the bottom on this one. Very close, though. You had 10 of the 16. You were doing well. You're still doing well. 10 of 16. Josh, you had 11 of 16, but the boss man comes in with the high score with 12 out of 16 on this one.
Cumulatively, I think we're
we're going to get to cumulative, Kapp. We're going to get to cumulative.
Right, like on the
don't worry, Kapp. Don't give it away for the people. Come on, you got to stop giving things away. I know you got a feeling. Cancel the coffee. Get me what Kapp's drinking. He's got a feeling. All right?
Get into the bracket.
Absolutely. Get into it. Yeah, get into the bracket.
These games were expected. Constitution and MCS are going to end up in the semifinal facing each other, which they have done for the last several years. Josh,
say that again. Math, Civic Science, and who else?
Math, Civic Science, MCS.
And Constitution?
Which are the two schools that have been killing each other for years in the city, in the public league, and in the state.
They could meet in the semis on the 20th.
They both have state championships. Constitution has 3, I believe. Rob Moore, excellent game day coach, and he's got some horses over there, and so does MCS. And my bracket has them facing off again in the semi, and it's a shame because we'd love to see them in the final against each other. Yeah. But it doesn't work out that way.
No, but you could see that could be a great Final Four matchup, though.
And sometimes when you look at it, it's a state tournament, it's a state bracket, it's combining Eastern and Western teams, essentially. Obviously, there's different parts of the state that I'm missing in that statement. But, you want to see some variety. You want to see some diversity in terms of, geographic location.
Yep.
But it's just clear. It's pretty obvious to everyone at this point that, these District 12 teams, these Philly inner-city schools, they're small. Yeah. They might be small.
Yeah.
And there are points in times where teams like MCS and Constitution steamroll their way through league competition that's in a higher classification. So these state playoff games, while they are really tough because they don't get to see these Western PA teams a lot, they're the most prepared, and that's just the case. Day in and day out every year.
I mean, these early rounds. If you see MCS is playing Doc Mennonite, in this second round. I mean, I'm assuming Doc Mennonite is going to leave the buses running because I don't think they're getting out of there with a win, and they're going to just go home and their season's over probably. And the same with who's Constitution playing Bishop. Guilfoyle?
Guilfoyle. Yep.
Thank you. Guilfoyle. Yeah. So I don't know much about them, obviously.
Well, Josh, I'm going to ask you, and Kapp, I'm going to come to you, but Josh, if you can do me a favor and you get your laptop there. I saw it coming up here on my phone. I'm looking. Let me know if there's anything coming up on comments. I think our comments were blowing up for a little bit there. But Kapp, tell me something here. From this bottom half of the bracket, from the bottom half, I know Constitution, I know MCS. From the bottom half of the bracket, is there anybody that you look at that maybe has made some noise? Because I know it's 2A, we don't talk about them, but is there anybody that's really made some noise here?
So Wickley Academy.
Okay,
so they're the big one. Academy had a 21-4 season. They're facing off against Ridgeway, which is a District 9 team.
Yes, that's correct. They finished second in District 9. That's correct.
A very good record, 23-1. I'm expecting Sewickley to move on from there.
But that's a good game. A 23-1 team facing off against a 21-4.
But I don't think there's much competition up in District 9 for Ridgeway. And then again, we don't want to take anything away from them because they did have that fine record. So we don't know what was going on up there. It's a distance from here. But Sewickley Academy, very strong. Jeanette also is a team that is going to make some noise there. And they're probably going to end up in the quarterfinals. I'm expecting Sewickley Academy to end up in the final, and I expect Constitution to beat MCS.
Wow. All right, guys.
So well, that's where I'm going with it.
Let's move on as I drop my pen live on the air. Let's move on. I'll get it. Don't worry. Let's move on. Let's go to this 1A 1A bracket here. This is our last bracket of the night, as you see it up there on your screen right now. Thank you, Kapp, for the new pen. This is delightful. Thank you very much. This feels good, too.
My pleasure.
Let's move on here. We've got Plumstead Christian. They take a victory over York Country Day, 62-50. They're going to go and play Sullivan County. Sullivan County beats Nativity BVM 49-43. Millville has a 59-40 victory over Lincoln Leadership. They will play Faith Christian. Faith Christian has a big win over Berks Christian, 80-34. We move on. You've got Lourdes Regional, who had a 71-33 win over Greenwood. Sankofa Freedom, who had a good football year, actually, 80-59 over Girard College. Susquehanna takes down Conestoga Christian 58-54, a close one. That's the closest one we've seen thus far. Yes. Lancaster Country Day had a 74-51 victory over Blacklick Valley. We go down to the bottom half of the bracket here. Vincentian Academy, 60-53 win over Cameron County. They will play Shade, who had the 22-3 season. They come in at District 5 at the number 1 seed. Shade takes down Cornell 67-63. Elk County Catholic had a 66-40 victory over Jamestown. They will take on Bishop Carroll, who Bishop Carroll had an 85-76 win over Amani Christian Academy. We've talked about them before, Amani Christian Academy. Eden Christian had, this is odd, guys, a 30-28 victory over Johnsonburg. Yeah, that really must have. That's one of those games when they just don't even know where the baskets are. It's not they can't make shots; they don't even know where the baskets are.
That's a tough one.
That's one of those games where they were playing with a beach ball trying to get it through the net. It has to be. They're going to play Shanksville Stony Creek. That sounds like a lovely Shanksville. That's interesting. 63-51. They take down St. Joseph's Academy, coming out of District 6. They were the 2 seed there. And in our last upcoming matchup, we've got Union Area 71-56 over North Clarion. And North Clarion had a good season, 21-4. But the Union Area will take on Kennedy Catholic. Kennedy Catholic, wow. This was a big one, guys. They took down Propel Andrew Street 73-26.
Yeah, that was expected. Kennedy Catholic was expected.
Well, let's look at the predictions really quick here, because this was actually one you guys all did very well here. You can see the predictions on the screen. Josh and Ari, you guys both had 10 out of 16 correct. That's very good, but not as good as Kapp. Kapp, he went into Kapp's corner. He found the remedy, he found the recipe, and he got the most correct. 12 out of 16. That's very important. Hey, don't call it a comeback. All right, nobody puts Kapp in the corner. Well, except on Kapp's corner. But it's from a movie, I'm sure. One of these days, I'm going to go watch that movie. That'll be the next trivia question. What movie is that from? But if you know the answer, what movie that's from, put it in the comments on the Facebook page right now. I see one of our producers. He's got it right there. So let's make sure we get to that. Who put Kapp in the corner? There's the question.
What movie was it?
What movie was it where Kapp got put in the corner? It wasn't Raging Bull, Kapp. It wasn't Raging Bull.
So let's talk about some of these games.
Let's talk about some of these games. Please let me stay on topic here.
Okay,
guys, tell me, what do you got?
Kennedy Catholic, clearly, I have to say, is the top dog in this 1A bracket. Sankofa is the team coming out of Philadelphia, coached by Isaiah Thomas. A very athletic team, and these other folks that are playing in that top half of the bracket are probably not going to be in the class of Sankofa. Lourdes Regional.
Lourdes, yeah.
I don't know anything about them, but they're coming out of
no one does.
4. I don't think they can stay with a team like Sankofa. Sankofa's got some horses, some real athletes. And those are the 2 main teams coming out of here. Faith Christian is not bad. Faith Christian has a good team. Look, they won by nearly 50 points in their opening round. 46-point victory over Berks Christian. Did I get that right? Yeah.
You got that right. You got that right.
That's right. That's a big victory.
Yeah, it's a very big victory.
There's some blowouts here as we're looking down, and then there was some closer games. Of course, there was that 30-28 game, which we didn't want to see. But 73-26 was Kennedy Catholic's game.
Josh, I want to come to you. Anybody here that surprises you out of 1A? I know 1A we really don't get a whole lot to focus on. Anybody here that you really think can come out of this alive?
Well, I mean, when you look at the top, not even necessarily the top seeds, but the teams that at least coming into this bracket that we kind of assumed would move on. they moved on with ease. You know, you look at Faith Christian, the number one seed out of District 1, of 46-point, destroying of Berks Christian. Sankofa Freedom, a 21-point victory. So maybe not as big, but still an easy.
Worse, yeah.
And then I think the one that really caps it off is Kennedy Catholic winning by almost 50 over Propel Andrew Street. I mean, these are powerhouse 1A teams that are waiting to unleash each other's talents against each other, and I think this is why the state tournament is the best opportunity for them to do so. You're looking at 8. We have 16 teams left. Obviously, only 8 can move on, but I think that 3 or 4 there, Faith Christian, Sankofa, and Kennedy Catholic, those are the three big horses that are really waiting to try and get to those semifinal spots, and then from there, you put those talented teams against each other. Anything can happen at this point.
If I remember correctly, I think Sankofa played Kennedy Catholic in a tournament way back early in the season, maybe early December, and kind of got rubbed out by them a little bit. So Kennedy Catholic starts at 6'10", 6'8", and 6'7", if I remember correctly.
Wow.
They're loaded, and they're the 8-time state champions.
Yeah, we had talked about that before.
So this is a team. This is a very serious basketball team. They are a tiny little school, and hence they get the 1A classification.
Guys, 1A doesn't really get a lot of love, but I really do think that it's pretty impressive what is coming out. I think there are some really great teams coming out of this. We have a Facebook update.
Yeah, we do. So Joe DeGrazio, who has commented on here during the show so far, he says he doesn't see anyone beating Kennedy Catholic in 1A, and he also noted that Faith Christian versus Sankofa will be a fun matchup. One of the more, I think that'll be the Faith Christian Sankofa might be the.
And give me his first comment again.
The first comment
about 1A, who does he see coming out of it? Was it Kennedy Catholic?
He's saying the same thing. We're saying.
Okay.
We're putting Kennedy Catholic on the same pedestal as Imhotep.
Okay.
Where we really don't see many teams in their respective classifications beating those two
Faith Christian
powerhouses.
and Sankofa could meet in the semifinal.
Yeah, and that's a game that's an anticipation that I think
it could be a good game.
Yeah,
it could be a very
well,
good
guys.
game.
We have had a lot of good games that we have discussed tonight, and we've also discussed a lot of games that are coming up that we know are going to just be really great. These games coming up on Tuesday. I believe all of these games, if I'm incorrect, please let me know. But yeah, I believe all of these coming up on Tuesday. What I do want to get to you guys, though, I want to give you guys the totals for your brackets. And then, Cap, I want to get to your corner. I want to get to the trivia question. So here are the totals right now.
On Wednesday.
Oh, Wednesday. So yeah. That's why I said most are Tuesday, some Wednesday.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so we got a couple of days going here for these 1A through 6A.
That's right.
All right, so here we go. These are your totals, guys. You had a chance to get 96 possible points, 1 point for getting each game correct in your bracket so far.
We're really close.
You're all really close.
Yeah.
Ari at 66 out of 96, so about 2/3, a little more than 2/3. But Kapp and Josh, you guys, don't peek, Kapp, don't peek. That doesn't make it fun.
Is that cheating?
It's a little cheating. It's a little cheating in 5th grade. Yes, yes. I allow it to happen, but it shouldn't be happening here.
Should be a shield between.
That's it. That's it. I'm putting here. Here's my cup. Believe that there, guys. Kapp and Josh, you are both tied at 67 apiece. 67 apiece you guys have out of 96 possible. Wow. So again,
70%?
Yeah, roughly, somewhere around there. But yeah, Ari with 66, you guys each with 67. So these next weeks coming up going to be really interesting to look at your brackets and see. Well, thank you so much to those of you at home. It is so exciting to have you joining us here on this special Sunday night edition of 3 in the Key right here on the Sports Fanbase Network. Thank you so much for tuning into our different night this week, just with the way that these games are coming up and schedules. It is just getting crazy as we move into this. Make sure that you check back, look at the comments, because this video is going to stay up on Facebook. It'll move over to YouTube eventually, but check out the comments as they come through in this week. See if you were correct in your predictions. Keep putting your predictions in there, even if you're not watching live. Put your predictions in. We love to comment. The station, our hosts, we love to comment with you guys during the week, so please comment as the week goes on, and know that we will be back here next week so that we can discuss all the great things happening in our predictions. Certain to go wrong. No, actually, we're doing really well here, guys. You guys are doing great. You guys are doing really great here. But please, in the comments, give us your prediction. Give us your analysis. Tell us what you agree or disagree with. But let's take a look at the schedule coming up for the Sports Fanbase Network. It was a great season for On the Mat and Mark Tribble, so thank you so much. Their season is over. But guys, a really amazing season there. Thank you so much for all that you did for SFBN this season. It was really great. Varsity Voice with Frankie Stokes. That's going to be Wednesday at 7. And then our girls basketball show In the Paint with Nikki Jones. That'll be Thursday at 7. Again, Kapp, your trivia question. Let's do it. No, I'm not forgetting. I want to give our shout out to our SFBN people. But no. I got your trivia right here.
There are several people that have given an answer on this trivia question.
So again, in the city of Philadelphia, which has the longest drought, which school has the longest drought since winning their last championship?
Yes,
Go ahead.
Do we have the people who have guessed?
Yes, we have.
And their names are?
We have Ari, the boss man, and Joe DeGrazio.
They had it right.
Yes.
And their
What was the
answer
answer?
was
Northeast High School.
Northeast High School since 1929.
And that was and just to clarify, that was the last time they won any type of championship, whether it was public league or
it could only be the public league at that time because the public league did not join the PIAA until 2004, somewhere around there. So for many, nearly 100 years, the public league was its own entity, its own existence.
Kapp, who was the female coach?
Elsa Cohen.
And that
Who I
Ari
had battles with.
Ari also had
Yeah.
mentioned Elsa Cohen.
He knew, he must have seen, because if you go into the gym, there's a big sign with all the championships, and it's very clear that basketball ends in 1929, right around the Great Depression.
All right. That's great. Let's put everything, let's time it with the Great Depression.
89 years.
That's great.
Right?
Wow. That's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your guesses. As the show went on, thank you so much for all your comments, all your feedback. Really, this show runs because of you guys at home. So thank you so much for that. Again, as you're going through the week and you see this pop up, be sure to like, share, love this show. It helps us tremendously so we can keep bringing this to you every single week. We've only got a couple weeks left here, guys. So it's really, really exciting. We will be back next week, though, so that we can break down all this great stuff happening throughout high school boys basketball. But don't forget, you can always catch up with 3 in the Key on the go. If you can't watch us, and please don't while you drive, but if you can, and you just want to take our voices with you to go in the car or on your run, please download the latest podcast from the iTunes store. Just search for the Sports Fanbase Network, and 3 in the Key will pop up so you can take us with you wherever you go. And hey, while you're in the iTunes store, please give us that ever so important 5-star rating. In the meantime, check out our website. Kapp has written some great articles, taken some great pictures. The people at SFBN are putting content up there daily. So make sure you get to the SFBN at www.thesfbn, Sports Fanbase Network, thesfbn.com. You guys can check out there, including our broadcast schedule, sports information, everything you could want. Thank you so much to our amazing producer, Julian Bellman, doing so much for you guys at home. Thank you so much to Jack Kapp, Josh Abrams, for all of us here at the Sports Fanbase Network. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Richie Blyweiss, reminding you to stay classy and be good to each other. Have a great night.